whenever I see something that's been like heavily influenced by something else, I always think of like these two main camps. I know there's several of them, but the two main ones is some people would call that a ripoff, or some will even say it's even a scam. That word gets thrown around like confetti. I'm not even sure if most people know what that is anymore. And then you have the other camp, which is inspired by or a love letter. You know, I do feel like it depends on the situation, but I think I would go on to say that in my experience, like people who are more negative, they lean towards calling something that's inspired by something else a ripoff. And people who are generally more positive would call it a love letter or influenced by. And, you know, no idea is original. There's nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do, but how it's done. I believe that's what Nas said. Wise words, and I do agree with that 100%. And I have no problem with someone reinventing the wheel as long as it's functional, right? Like as long as like if you can basically make a game that's very much similar to a different game but do it better, or maybe introduce some new mechanics, and honestly, even if you don't really introduce anything new, if, as long as the game is its quality is good, I'm on board. uh, Enter Tunguska, the Visitation, right? Tunguska, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I believe I don't. It might be an actual place. I'm not too sure. But right now, if you're hearing like loud noises in the background, that's a guy that decided to start, blowing some leaves around right when I started recording. It's slightly frustrating because I had to like stop this recording a few times and start from the top because it's distracting. Sometimes I feel like I can't hear myself. So if you do hear noises, that's what's going on. But as far as this game goes, it's done incredibly well. And what's even more amazing is that it's by one developer, to my knowledge, and it's heavily inspired by Stalker. I don't know if I said that already, and he's done a great job. Capturing the atmosphere, the music, the feel of the game, the pace, more like methodical, slow pace. It's not really a shooter in a traditional sense, but if you've played Stalker and you're familiar with that franchise, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not like a Call of Duty or like a Division where you just, you're out in the open literally shooting tens, 20, 30 enemies and just, slowly having your health get refilled and stuff. Not a knock towards those games. Those games are fun. As a matter of fact, I'm playing the Division now with some friends. That's our little. I usually have like a single player game that I play when I'm alone, and whenever I'm with my friends, I have my multiplayer game. And for this flavor of the month would be the Division 2, which we finished before, but we never got to play the Warlords of New York DLC. So we're all kind of trying it now. We're having fun. But games like Tunguska and games like Stalker, and I also downloaded Stalker Anomaly, which I am trying out a little bit. I'm kind of enjoying. I've never tried this before. I know from to my knowledge, it came out 2018, and at that time I wasn't. Actually, I just started getting into PC gaming like officially 2018, 2019. It might have been 2019. I got my first PC in 2016, but I was still kind of a console kid. I would dip in and out of playing with my computer. I was still mainly console, but so this anomaly has been out for a while now, and I'm late to the party because I'm not originally a PC player, so I have to play catch up with all of like the classic titles and the influential things that have happened in PC gaming history. Like I have to play catch up, and I'm okay with that. So I'm late to the party with Stalker Anomaly, but I'm here. I'm looking at Gamma, and I'm like, oh man, I would love to play Gamma because I love the realistic aspects of it, the hardcore aspects of it, but also it's gigantic in size, and also it's pretty complicated for someone like me who like just updating Stalker Anomaly to version 152 was difficult, like very hard for me. So you already know I'm not really computer savvy. I'm not definitely not mod savvy. I can do it, but it'll take me much longer than the average person, and I will always somehow fuck up a step. I never do it exactly how the YouTuber who's instructing me does it. So I find myself playing this Tunguska game and thoroughly enjoying it to the point where I might even finish it. I like I said, he captures the atmosphere. Before I continue, I want to actually, is it Rotarius? What's his name? No, no, no. Fuck. I just launched it. Damn. Hold on for a second. I'm having some technical issues. Yeah, Rotorus Workshop. That's the name of the, I guess, his little studio or whatever. So, wait, am I still recording? Okay, good. Yeah, I had to cancel the game. I actually double clicked it and started it, launched it. So, I am amazed though, like, I, in my opinion, it's a well crafted love letter. Not only that, it's got its own thing. It's got, crafting, and he's always improving it. There was just a patch today that I downloaded, and he's always, you know, seems like he's cheerful and he's always very attentive to the needs of his fan base or his player base. And I think that's really cool, always improving, even though it's like a single player game that, I mean, not saying that single player games can't be improved, but I'm saying like typically, you know, single player games, I don't know, in my opinion, don't get as many patches or updates as like multiplayer games. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that's kind of true. Not too sure. Give me one second. I'm getting kind of distracted from this noise. So I remember seeing a couple of screenshots of this game and going like, okay, well, obviously it's like, Stalker, the top-down Stalker, kind of like Stalker Light. And I was like, that's pretty cool, and it was on sale for like $10. And I saw the amount of content. I think I saw like a video or two about it, and I was like, wow, this is actually like impressive. Not only because it's a one-person thing, but like how well he nails down the stalker atmosphere, from the music to the graphics, which are like they're nothing, you know, major. They're good. They're like slightly updated PS2 graphics, but it's like a top-down shooter, so you're not really supposed to zoom in and see the quality of things, see the graphical quality of things at least. It's kind of like, you pull back and your character is just like a tiny guy on the screen and you're able to see everything to like God's view, you can say. And it works. It does work. I do have my gripes with it, especially with the cover system, which I enjoy for the most part. But I always say my biggest gripe is sometimes, since I'm pulled back, the camera's pulled back so far away, I'll be behind cover and I can't really tell if I'm fully exposed or not, or partially exposed. And then sometimes I get shot while I'm in cover, and that's because I couldn't tell. I'm like, is my body? If it was a 3D game, if I was in a 3D space, then I'll be able to tell. Like, okay, my head is sticking out, my arm's sticking out, but I can't tell when the camera's that far away. And even when I do pull it in, it's still dicey. But that's a tiny complaint compared to like, that's like the 15%, you know, out of the 85 that I like. Out of 85% of this game I enjoy. I rarely encountered bugs. To be honest with you, I don't know if I did. And if I did, it wasn't major enough for me to make any note of it. So the game runs very well. And it's like, there's something I have to point out too, right? Like I downloaded it on the Steam Deck so I could play it at work, and it's two different games. Like when you play it on PC, it's more slow, methodical. You have to be, cautious and calculated, like any stalker type game is like, or stalker itself. But when you play it on the Steam Deck, it's more arcadey, more shooter like like because your character has auto aim and you can just point at the general direction of the enemy and it automatically lock on, and then you can just shoot accurately towards. I feel like that's something I do not enjoy. So if you are someone who wants like a more, I guess, hardcore, realistic aiming system, I would say stick to PC. I'm sure you can tweak the settings, the control settings on the Steam Deck, and maybe make it less arcadey and less aimbottish. I haven't really messed with it, but something tells me you can. So don't just dismiss it as like, oh, it's two different games, because that's my impression of it. But I'm sure with some careful tweaking, you can definitely set it to something close to the PC experience. I'm talking about the Steam Deck version. Um, yeah, it's like bite-sized Stalker. It really is though. Like and very well done. Like I said, like if once again, if someone told me, "Hey, this was done by a team of, like 10, 12 people," I'll go, "Oh, yeah, totally." Like I can see the love and careful attention to the details and like the atmosphere, the music, the mood, the funny uh language barrier issues that the original Stalker had too, like like the kind of like the English being a tiny bit broken. For the most part, the English is well, but there are some issues with the English. So I'm assuming it's not the developer's first language. But goddamn, if it isn't, props to him. He speaks very good English. Um, but yeah, it's something cool to have when you're traveling or when you're burnt out from playing pretty much all of the stalker, I don't know, say stalker, all of the stalker games. You've got the trilogy, you've got Anomaly, you've got Gamma, you've got fucking a million standalone versions, which I just found out. Like I'm jumping headfirst into this, like this week. I'm like, holy shit! Like there's been this whole stalker verse going on unbeknownst to me until I finally went down the rabbit hole and realized, like, holy shit! Like, Stalker has actually been in very much active development since the first three. And now with Stalker 2 finally coming out next month, that's going to be wild, right? Because that's more than just a good video game, right? Like so far, those who have had early access to the new Stalker, Heart of Chernobyl, I believe is called. It's coming out November 20th. Don't quote me on that, but next month, November. So far, those who have had early access to it, like, I think like IGN wrote a review on it, and someone else, they all generally like it. I haven't seen anything super harsh. I've seen some criticisms, but for the most part, it's pretty positive. And I'm like, huh, that's uplifting, right? Knowing that the next Stalker entry, the next official Stalker entry, is going to be something people enjoy. But what's even more exciting is the mods in the future. My God, on a new engine, new mods, like imagine a gamma for this new Stalker. It's going to be insane because if they can make an engine that came out in 2007, 2009 with like Anomaly and with Stalker, if they can make it look like a AAA title of today, of 2024, imagine what they can do with the engine that the new Stalker runs on. It's just the infinite world of possibilities. And I can't wait. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it all the way. Stalker is just such an interesting, beautiful, depressing, hard, frustrating game that I can totally see why people fall in love with it. And I am slowly falling in love with it too. But I'm also just slowly falling in love with difficult games, which brings me to the Division 2, right? The first time I played the Division, I just played the base game. I didn't play the Warlords of New York edition or anything like that. And I remember having fun. I had a blast. I was like, oh, this game is cool. It's fun. Me and my other two friends felt the same way too. Since then, I've been playing nothing but hard games. I've played Arma, I've played DayZ. Uh, right now, I'm playing Stalker. I played the first Stalker on Master, Shadow of Chernobyl, Master difficulty from beginning to the end. And it was hard, but it was fun. I tried Clear Sky. I couldn't get into it. I played it for a few hours and I couldn't get past the swamps. And maybe after you get past the swamps, it becomes better. Something tells me it is. But it just felt dated. The gun looked just bad. It was all boxy and you can't, one of the guns didn't have iron sights. It kind of, you had to rely on the crosshair. And it was just something about it just turned me off. And I was like, and then the combat feels more, I don't know, just for lack of a better word, lopsided. Like it feels like I have to dump a bunch of bullets into them while they kind of don't. Like maybe that's, I don't know if that's an actual game mechanic. I do know that in the first Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, it you can shoot directly at them but still kind of miss or something like that. Some of the bullets don't register, and I think that's part of the game mechanics that's been implemented into the game. So I know it's a little wonky, it's a little weird like that. It doesn't look like the new Stalker is going to follow that system, thank God. You should be able to die or at least take massive damage if you get hit in the face with a bullet. You know, of course, you can sit here and argue me and say, but how far away was the bullet? We're not going to get into specifics. Typically, someone gets shot in the head, they either die or they're just not well. They're not well permanently. It's a fun time to get into the Stalker series, considering that the next one's coming out, and it's also going to bring a plethora of newbies. Right, I can consider myself a Stalker newbie. I just found out about the game this year, and so I count me as one of those. But you know what happens when new blood gets injected into an ongoing franchise. You're gonna have a lot of streamers. Oh God, a lot of influencers. Oh God, I'm not looking forward to that. I can't imagine, that blonde hair, energetic guy. Hey guys, today we're gonna talk about Stalker. Like, oh God, shoot me. But that is the climate we're living in today, right? 2024. You got to make money, and you got to be that guy. You got to be that energetic dude. You got to neon bright thumbnails. You got to write, controversial or negative captions to grab people's attention. I get it, man. You're playing the game, but it kind of sucks to see that applied to Stalker, because Stalker's it's like a serious game, right? Like there's not a lot of humor. There is humor, but not, it's like gallows humor because everything's so depressing. And then to have some cheery eyed, blue eyed, frosted tip YouTuber or whatever just screaming or, just doing what, the young kids do in treating Stalker that way. It's just, there's something just, it doesn't feel right, man. So I'm not looking forward to that, but I know it's going to happen. And that's just something I guess my old ass is going to have to just deal with. I just read a comment earlier when I was looking up stuff for Tunguska saying that he's planning a sequel. He said, I think somebody requested fishing, and he said that he's thinking about adding fishing to the sequel. And I was like, oh, he's making a sequel. Awesome. I'm there for it, and I'm most definitely purchasing it if a sequel does come out. So it's cool to know that a new Stalker game is coming out next month. You've got the Stalker mods to play. Of course, you got the original trilogy, and then you've got awesome, like unofficial. Not well. I'm not gonna say spin-off. That's you've got these games that are heavily inspired by Stalker, like Tunguska and even Chernobyl Light. I haven't played Chernobyl Light. I kind of stayed away from it because the reviews that I read, not because they're negative. I didn't read negative reviews about it. I just read that it's not really, it's a Stalker world type game. Like it's in the Stalker universe, sort of, or their version of it, but it's not really like a combat heavy game. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for just to upgrade your guns, upgrade your armor, tinker around with some things. I'm not really looking for crafting or just to hang out in the world. I actually want to survive. I actually want to be, I want to get my hands dirty with some bandit blood, you know. Uh, and Tunguska, I think I'm gonna finish it. I think I think I'm gonna try to play a little bit of both of these games. As a matter of fact, it's not no try. I'm definitely gonna do it. I'm gonna play Tunguska and I'm gonna play Stalker Anomaly, and I'm just gonna, go in there and just fuck around and find out the scientific method. Oh, great. The dude stopped with the fucking leaf blower. Awesome. I can concentrate a bit. It's, I keep reiterating this and I keep repeating myself, but it's genuinely the truth. Like, it's a fantastic time to be a Stalker fan right now because of games like Tunguska as well as the actual new Stalker coming out and vice versa. Wait, I don't know why I said vice versa. That doesn't even apply. As far as the game itself, Tunguska, like like I said, there's not really any negative things that I can think of that stand out aside from the cover issue, and also, the fact that not it, and top-down shooter is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. But I can't express to you how amazed I am at everything else about the game, though. Like the combat feels good. Like I said, you have a cover system where you actually can get behind cover from things. You can press a button. I think the default key is Z, and you can see what you can duck behind, which is kind of cool. But it also feels like I'm cheating a little bit. Like I kind of want to go. Like I kind of want to figure that out on my own. But I think it's cool that it's there. Combat feels crunchy, feels good. It feels good to shoot people and kill them with an AK. I'm not too crazy about the long range weapons with scopes and stuff. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of cheating. It's not cheating, but I feel like it is. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want anything to make the game super easy on me. Like, that's why I'm playing Anomaly on hard and Tunguska on hardcore. I think that's the second difficulty. There's another difficulty. I forgot what it's called, Sticks and Stones or something, but I feel like that's just overkill. You know what? And this is something that um I've learned recently with playing games like Dying Light 2. I put it on nightmare difficulty thinking like, oh, this is just going to be a really hard version of the game, and it was, but it also felt broken and cheap. And that's when I was like, okay, once I put it on hard, it was still difficult, but it was still fun, and I was like, okay, well, I guess hard it is. Something tells me Sticks and Stones mode and Tunguska will probably be like that too. Like it'll probably be a little too much overbearing. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I'm just guessing it'll be a little bit too overbearing because I want the game to be hard, but I don't want it to be impossible. If that makes any sense. I forgot. I'm looking at my Tom Clancy's The Division 2 icon here. I don't know if I finished what I was going to say about it earlier. I just, you know how I am. I get sidetracked all the time. But games like Stalker, games like Arma, games like Scum, even Tunguska, they they're so hardcore and they're so enjoyable. And also Escape from Tarkov. They're so hardcore, but they're so enjoyable that I can't even enjoy games like Tom Clancy anymore. Like I said, but original Tom Clancy's The Division. I did enjoy Wildlands because I set it on like the hardest difficulty where you just take a few shots and die, and I felt like that evened out the playing field. So when I first played Tom Clancy's The Division, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great because this is before I got into the whole hardcore realism shooter sims. And then after, now that I'm going back to play Warlords of New York, this game feels so fucking easy. It feels so easy. Like there's loot everywhere. There's an abundance of bullets. The cover system is it's awesome. I love the fact that you can hold space bar and kind of just automatically move into cover. That's a dope system. It's a fun game. I'm not knocking it at all. I enjoy the Division 2. I really do. But it is easy, and I know that you can set certain missions to difficult, but that's not the same. I'm talking about like just a general like difficulty. I wish you could just generally make it a difficult game. But it is an online only game, so I can see why that's not possible because not everybody would enjoy a more hardcore experience. I wish I could turn some things off, turn off enemy marking and you know, certain things, some of the things in the HUD. The HUD does feel a little cluttered, but I mean, what do you expect? It's basically an MMO. It's like a fucking tactical, light milsim MMO. Light milsim, very light milsim. And yeah, games like Tunguska and Stalker and all of them, they kind of ruined it for me. Now I just feel like I'm playing baby games all the time. Whenever I go on Steam and I see a new like fantasy game or something, I'm just like, ugh, I almost roll my eyes. I'm like, what am I doing? I became such a fucking snob. You know what I mean? Like I want to go back to enjoying dumb shit and cool shit and high fantasy shit like ESO and all that or New World or one of my little buddies he's playing Throne and Liberty. I think that's the game, and he's enjoying it. And he showed me, he'll stream his gameplay like on Discord, and I'm like, it looks dope. It looks fun. It looks like a cross of a bunch of games like Neverwinter and New World, and maybe some Black Desert Online in there. All those games I enjoyed that I named. So if you just mash up a bunch of games that I like into one game, of course I'm gonna like it. The same way if you mash up, you know, something like Stalker and then make your own Stalker like game, of course I'm gonna like it because I like Stalker. I I'm surprised. I'm just surprised that a game developed by one dude nails it, it gets so much right that I can't, besides the cover system, I can't genuinely tell you anything else I don't like about it. Like the combat feels good, music is on point. Like it is something that I feel like it is an underrated gem. And that's something I can tell you now. And he's got, so I bought the DLC and everything. That's how much I like the game. I haven't even finished the regular playthrough, but I think it's called Ravenwood. I ended up buying that. It was on sale recently for like two, $3. I was like, oh yeah, I'm grabbing that for sure. Not only to support the guy, but also because I genuinely like the game. And I probably won't get past Ravenwood after I finish this, because I got a feeling Anomaly is gonna. I feel the pool of Anomaly. Like I'm like, like when you play something and then you stop playing it and then you like go do something, use the bathroom or cook, and then you're just like, you feel this pool. Like I want to play Anomaly. I want to play Anomaly. That's what it feels like now. So I got a feeling I'm gonna end up focusing on that. But I want to at least finish Tunguska. I do. Um, I do want to get into that little crunchy combat that I enjoy so much, especially in them areas where you're not supposed to kill people. I'm fucking murdering them, brah. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. All I want to do is play shooters and shoot people. That's just, I don't know what happened. I remember before I didn't mind playing games like, for example, a Pentiment or Disco Elysium, these heavy narrative games where there's no combat or rarely any combat, or their version of combat, which is not traditional combat. And I would remember enjoying them. And then now it's like I'm like bloodthirsty. Like, you know what I mean? Like Daisy and Arma and Stalker just made me into a fucking maniac. I just want to just grab my mouse and just shoot people all the time. I need friends and I need help. But I kind of like it. I like this little phase of mine that I'm going through because it's like it's turning me into like a video game savage. Like it's like now when I play, like I said, when I play games like Tom Clancy, I'm killing it. I'm doing fucking great because I'm a god essentially, right? I'm getting shot the hell up by all sorts of bullets with sorts of calibers from all sorts of guns from all sorts of ranges, and I'm just surviving, man. I am a god. I'm taking down multiple enemies with my one gun, and I don't know, man. I'm here for it. I'm here for my own little phase or era that I'm going through right now because I am enjoying myself, and I realize that I am one of those gamers who like to be challenged, and that's because I am mentally challenged. But seriously, though, I probably am. But seriously, I always felt this side of me. Like whenever I played video games, it was always like this side of me that I'm like, I would like this to be a little more difficult, or I like challenging myself. I like when I'm fighting people, I don't like to run away. I like to stand there and learn their patterns. As opposed to like my friends who I play with, they run away and they'll pick like ranged builds whenever we play crafting games or something. Like for example, like Icarus lately, like the last time I played it with some friends, they all had ranged builds. No one, I'm the only melee guy there, and it was just kind of funny because it's like they didn't want to try to learn the mechanics of fighting things. They just wanted to run away and shoot from far away, which makes sense. But I'm like, I want to learn I want to learn how to fight this particular enemy because we're going to encounter this enemy a lot. So I want to make sure I'm prepared every time we do. That's just my mentality. So that's the harder approach. And I'm not doing that to be Billy Badass. I'm just doing it because I'm look. I'm gonna drop some major hours into this game. I might as well learn how to fight this particular enemy. That's the way my brain works. It's just a practical way of thinking. It's not really like a courageous, egotistical way. It's just like I'm gonna be here for a while. I might as well make myself comfortable. But anyways, I do enjoy the challenge on top of that, and we'll see, man. I mean, the next Stalker's coming out. I hope it's challenging. I know it's going to have several difficulty modes. You already know I'm going to play probably on the hardest because I want the best experience possible. I want that Stalker experience. I want to feel vulnerable. Shout out to Rotorist Workshop. I hope I'm saying that right. Great game. looking forward to that sequel. Looking forward to finishing off the game soon, maybe this week. And yeah, this one's a most definite recommendation without a shadow of a doubt. See you guys next time.